Welcome back, everybody. So here it is, Saturday, April 13th, right at 2:30. Temperature's about 72 degrees, humidity's 35. It feels absolutely fantastic. It's a little windy. In fact, we had a pretty decent weather front come through last night. Wind gusts up to about 30 miles an hour, but as you can see, the swarm traps strapped down, of course, with a ratchet strap to a ladder. No worries, no concerns. And same thing with the rest of the hives. I have a few bricks on some of the hives, as you can see, but that's really just to mark the ones that I need to double check. The rest of them don't really have anything, and even that empty nuke box sitting on top, that swarm trap there, didn't get disturbed at all, which is why I really think this bee yard location has become such a blessing in disguise, because it's in a low-lying area, which initially I had some concerns with, but between hurricanes and the amount of rain that we've received and wind, so combination of the low-lying area, which just drains well, and surrounded by all the brush, it just does extremely well. And I've had no issues, right, for several years now. So hey, here it is again, mid-April. I just want to show you all a few quick things, and whether I do this today or tomorrow, that is what I'm going to confidently call swarm number 7, given the amount of bees and activity on the entrance there. So a week ago, last Sunday, so just shy of a week, I got into the hives that have bricks on top. So these two right here, and then the last two, in an effort to determine if they were queen right, because the inspection from earlier this month, I was not able to find a queen. Gave it a week, still not able to find a queen. So that's the main focus today. But in fact, I'm just going to take the top boxes off these other hives that were queen right earlier this month. Excuse me. Get down into the bottom box and really just pry the bottom box up and see if they have any swarm cells. So that's the majority of the work today, minus the 4, like I just mentioned, that have bricks on top. And then out of all the hives that aren't marked, when I flip the bottom box up to look for swarm cells or queen cups or queen cells, if they have some, at that point I'll have to conduct a full inspection, go frame by frame, determine if they're still queen right, and if so, tear down those queen cells. And if they may have swarmed and they aren't queen right currently, I'm just gonna have to let those queen cells develop and see if they requeen themselves in the next few weeks. So I would say a little longer of an introduction, but I think I'm right on track, right at 3 minutes, approaching 4, right? So yeah, hives look good. That's the plan today. I'm looking around a few of the usual locations, mainly this one pine tree right here, and then swarm number 6 was in one of those pine branches. So I don't see any bees hanging from trees, which is a good thing. In fact, let's just take a close look at swarm number 6 real quick and see. Yeah, okay, they still have bees coming and going, and it's been a few days. So as I wrap things up, I think I'll finish today by looking into this swarm trap. There's only 5 frames, and seeing if they have a queen. She should be laying by now because they've been in there for a few days, so I should be able to tell if they're queen right, of course, in the form of eggs. All right, enough of me yapping. Let's get to it for mid-April. Just wanted to share this real quick. So if you don't recall the previous inspection about 2 weeks ago, got the queen isolated down to the bottom box, right? Slid in the queen excluder. They had brood in the middle box. Some of that brood was drones, and check this out. Look at the amount of drones that are trying, I'm assuming trying to make their way down to the bottom box, but they can't fit through the excluder. So good time to get into the hives. I'll set all them free, even though the top entrance has an escape, but maybe they just haven't figured that out yet. So let's get all those drones in the right place. So I'm just gonna prop the bottom box up, like I said, look for queen cells. If I don't see any, maybe I'll pull a middle frame looking for eggs, and that should be it. If I find eggs and no cells, just moving on to the next one. All right, I'm glad I did that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 swarm cells. So I'm definitely going to get into this box, see if they have signs that they're queen right, and if not, I'm just going to let them go, and hopefully they requeen themselves in the next week or two. All right, much to my surprise, they have some larvae that's maybe 4 or 5 days old. Not that that's the best indicator, as they have very mature queen cells right there, and then the ones I'll show you as I go that look like they're about to hatch. Yeah, if I don't find the queen, there's a good chance that either the swarm that's over in the red trap, number 7, or the swarm that was up in the tree almost directly above this hive may have been this parent queen, but I still have half the frames to get through. And if I can find her, that's great. I'll tear down the cells. But if I can't find her, again, I'm just gonna let them go. Yeah, check that out. Turn this around. There's at least, what, 4? Yeah, 4 mature queen cells on this side. And I'm looking for eggs. I haven't really found any yet, so there's a very good chance this parent queen and some of the bees might be in one of the swarm traps. So all right, so yeah, it looks like hive number 1 is queenless, which means they may have swarmed sometime in the last week. So I was thinking about it. I have swarm number 5 in the yellow trap on top of the ladder, right? 6 is over here behind me in the blue trap that I got out of the tree, and 7 is over in the red trap currently that's still in the tree. So I'm very curious if one of those swarm traps has a marked queen with a red dot, because I know for a fact I just marked this queen back in February, and as I thought about that more, I'm pretty sure the queen from last year was marked, and then I found an unmarked queen in February, which means they may have swarmed as early February or mid to late January, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, nonetheless, number 1, I'm gonna mark it with a brick. In fact, I got a brick right here to indicate that is something that I need to check up on next week, or at least by May, to see if they've become queen right. I didn't count that closely, but they have at least 10 swarm cells and supersedral cells throughout, so they have plenty of queen cells. There's plenty of drones in that hive, and I'm sure the rest of them, so it's just a matter of time, but something to follow up on in about 2 weeks. All right, down here at number 2, same exact plan. Just pop the top box off. Fat looking frames, which is awesome. Yeah, pop the top box off, flip the bottom box up, just take a look at the bottom of the bottom box, see if it looks like they have some swarm cells. No swarm cells, good to go. Maybe pull a frame or 2 in the middle. If I find eggs, that's it for this one. So let's see. That just looks like some bird comb. It's hard with the light right now because the sunlight keeps getting interrupted by one of the pine trees, but yeah, I was looking here. That just looks like some bird comb. So I think I'm gonna pull, let's see, 1, 2, 3, frame 3, 4, or 5, look for eggs. And again, if I find some, all is well. All right, show you this real quick. So this is on frame number 7. So those are supersedral cells, and surprisingly, I have not found any signs that they were queen right. So they may have already superseded. Man, I hate when bees start drawing wax like that. They have a lot of nice food stores, but yeah, I haven't found any eggs or very young larvae that would make me believe they had a queen recently. So again, I have a few swarms and traps that I haven't looked at yet, so there's a good chance, and she was marked too, so there's a good chance that that's one of them. But yeah, so it looks like number 2 is queenless also. Number 2 might be queenless right now, but they are packing away the honey. So that's awesome to see. This top box has some weight to it also. All right, to finish things up with number 2, I am going to take a tip out of Bob Binney's playbook in a video I watched recently. As he put queen excluders in and had brood in the top boxes, he left a little crack on the top box. I'm going to try and reduce that a little bit, but mainly to give the drones a way to escape. Because I have quite a few drones in this top box and number 1. So I'm just going to give them a little crack, a little less than that, just to give the drones a way to get out of there. All right, decided just to slide the top box back a little, as you can see on both of those. And I'm just going to let that go for a few hours. It should be ample amount of time, maybe a day at the most, but yeah, whole bunch of drones just hanging out, eating for free, and that's enough of that, right? So just a way for them to get out of the top boxes. I was about to get into number 3, and then I realized that's swarm number 1. The hive in the 4th position is swarm number 2. Nuke box is swarm number 4. So really, the next box I need to get into is this one here, which is the hive in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, number 6. This is one of the overwintered colonies. And then here on down, minus the very last hive in the stacked purple nuke, which is swarm number 3. That one's swarm number 5. 7's in the tree, or the box in the tree. And number 6 is in a swarm trap. So yeah, the hive again in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, number 6. All right, same thing, give y'all a first look. So again, similar to the other colonies, ton of drones just hanging out. So I'll do the same thing as I wrap up and just slide the top box back a little to give the drones a means to escape. But yeah, this colony had a brick on it, so I was unable to find the queen a week ago, or maybe even 2 weeks ago, maybe a week. So yeah, that's the priority. Their queen rate, fantastic. If not, I'm gonna give them 1 more week before I start thinking about how to fix the situation. All right, so they have a few queen cells right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks like a pretty developed queen. I'm sorry, queen cups. That looks like a developed queen cell right there, and another one. So 2 queen cells that I can see, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 queen, 6 queen cups. So yeah, looks like I'm gonna have to get into this one and figure out what their status is. All right, so frame number 4, that looks like a hatched queen cell, and that looks like a hatched queen cell, and so does that. And you won't believe this, but I'm pretty confident they have a queen. I went to cage her, bumped her with the cage, and she flew off. So yeah, that is the current status of this colony. So with that said, I'm gonna have to give them about a week and see if she returned. I'm also, well, since I'm in here, right, I'm just gonna move through the rest of the frames. Maybe she flew down to the entrance and now she's on another frame, but yeah. Oh man, I can't make half of this stuff up. But yeah, that's what's going on with this one. All right, down here at the next hive in the 7th position. Again, this is another hive that overwintered. Also had a brick on top of the lid, indicating that I did not find the queen last time. So here we go, right? Same process. Carefully remove the queen excluder. It's always a good practice just to look on the bottom. They have a healthy amount of bees, or at least that's how it looks. But yeah, let's flip up the bottom box and see what we're looking at here. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, they definitely have a healthy amount of bees, that's for sure. All right, no swarm cells. So let's pull a frame or two, or, well, actually, should probably just conduct a regular inspection since I didn't find the queen last time. So yeah, that's what I'll do and share anything worthwhile. Well, that's nice to see. I know this isn't gonna come up, but right here, ton of eggs. So this is frame number 3. I'm just gonna go through every frame to try and find the queen since I didn't find her the previous time, and then with the intention of caging her and getting her marked. Of course, she'd be on the very last frame, and she is a big one. I am convinced bees, and specifically queens, are very, very smart. You can hear her piping. Are very, very smart, and they can tell, or they know, when there's an increase in daylight all of a sudden, to just make themselves sparse. So I've said this before, but when you find a queen on a frame that has no drawn comb, no reason for her to be there, I mean, think about it, right? Like, why else would she make it a point to go to that frame, right? The only thing I can think of is she knows that the hive's getting inspected and somebody's looking for her, right? All right, let me get everything put back together. I'm gonna get her transferred to the marking tool and then mark her with a green dot. All right, easy day, got her marked with a green dot. Just gonna give that 30 seconds to dry, and then we'll get her released. All right, she is only the second queen I've marked with a green dot for this year. It's like they always get hung up when they're able to leave the tool. Come on, she's still in there. And getting close. Come on. And there she goes. All right, down here at the hive in the 8th position. So they have a queen excluder. They didn't have a brick, so they were queen right the last time I looked at them. So for today, just gonna pop up the bottom box, look for swarm cells, and if they don't have any, easy day. Let's see what we got going on here. A lot of pollen right there. That's kind of cool to see. All right, well, we got one queen cell right there, and that's all I see. So yeah, I'm gonna pull a few frames and see if they have signs that they're queen right, and if they are, just tear down that cell. There's the queen right there with the red dot hanging out on frame number 4. So let me get her caged just for safe keeping, and then tear down these queen cells. And in fact, there's one on the same frame she was on, so let's get them moving in the right direction and put back together, and that's it for this one. All right, let's get her released. Some nice brood, cap brood frames, and she's still working pretty hard. A lot of frames with eggs and larvae, so their population should increase a lot in the next few weeks. All right, down here at 9. So if you haven't guessed it, same exact thing. They didn't have a brick, which means they had a queen the last time I was in them. So it's really just a matter of quick check for swarm cells, and then quick look to see if they're still queen right. So let's take a look together. whole lot of burr comb that I can clean up. But yeah, looks pretty good. I'll clean that up, but yeah, no queen cups or queen cells or swarm cells that I can see. So let's get into them and see if they're queen right still. All right, there you go. Frame number 4. Nice big queen too. So she's caged. Just gonna go through the rest of the frames real quick, just in case there's a queen cell of some sort just hiding up higher on the frame that you can't really tell by looking at the bottom of the frames. So I'm gonna do that real quick, and if I don't find it, well, if I find it, I'm gonna tear them down. If I don't find anything, just get everything put back together and move on to the next one. All right, no queen cups, no queen cells. Let's get her released and they are good to go. I think y'all know the routine now. So down here at the hive in the 10th position, wow, that box was stuck and has some nice weight to it. So again, they did not have a brick, so it's just a matter of making sure they are still queen right. But I'm gonna do the same thing. Just pop up the bottom box, quick check, and then pull a few frames. Oh, okay. I'll show you this here in a second. Real nice, mature queen cell. You can even see the larva in that one and that one. And in fact, I might actually pull that frame instead of tearing down the cells and use that frame in hive number 1 or 2, or another one that needs some help. So yeah, I think I might do that, because that is a big looking cell right there. As long as they have a queen, right? So if they don't have a queen, I'm just gonna have to let it go. All right, just had the queen here on frame number 4. I think she just crawled to the other side to try and evade capture, which is understandable. But she had a marked, well, she was marked with a red dot. So as soon as I find her, I'm gonna cage her. I have 2 frames that have a total of, there she is right there, that have a total of 3 very mature queen cells. So I'm going to use each of those frames in 2 other colonies that need some help. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, this colony is queen right, obviously. I'm going to go through the rest of the frames, and if I find any more mature queen cells, depending how many I find, I have 3 colonies that need some extra help, so it's nice to have some resources. All right, so I'm gonna grab this first frame with these very 2 mature queen cells. I'm just gonna try and mark their location on the top bar, and I'm gonna take this frame down to hive number 1. All right, I just had to confirm number 2 was queenless. I couldn't remember. So yeah, I'm gonna take this frame that has a very mature queen cell right here, and add it to number 2. All right, that was pretty cool to find number 10's queen, and they had about 3 extremely mature queen cells, and I was able to use those to put into hive number 1 and 2. So hive number, whichever one this is, maybe 5, I think, they still need some help, and I still have 1, 2, 3 colonies to go. So that's nice. And then I'm going to finish up with moving swarm, I think that's 5, onto the hive stand. Take a look at 6 real quick. Pretty small swarm that was in the branch right there. And then tomorrow I'll drag the ladder over to number 7 and take a look at them for the first time. All right, so this is number 11. They had a brick on top indicating that I needed to check their queen. I'm pretty sure this is the hive that I found a virgin queen in, and I let her go. But yeah, check this out if you can't tell. This top box is pretty packed, and the last time I was in them, about 2 weeks ago, I remember them being pretty spicy. So wish me luck. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go through both boxes, all 20 frames, really checking to see if they're queen right in the form of eggs, of course. But if I can find the queen, try to cage her and get her marked. All right, just got through the top box. They seem a lot more calm this week. However, I still have to get into the bottom box. Top box, no brood, nothing but food, which is fantastic. So let's see what the bottom box looks like. Yeah, kind of to be expected. A lot of bees, but I'm only looking for the one, so let's get to it. All right, just finished up going through the bottom box. Still no signs that they're queen right, so that's kind of concerning. And I have a few thoughts, right? So they're gonna get marked with a brick again for the second week in a row. And with the swarms that I have available, the 3 of them, once I'm able to look at them, if any of them are rather small, I think I might introduce one of those queens and the bees to this colony. So, all right, well, I was really hoping they'd have a different status this week, meaning they'd be queen right, but that does not appear to be the case. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Give them a week. All right, down here at the hive in the 12th position, they also had a brick on top, so same thing. Not to bore you all to death, but if I can find a queen in this colony, hopefully I can cage her, get her marked, and then add a queen excluder. So I'll share anything we're sharing. All right, just a quick look at the bottom box. Top box, they're storing some food. Some capped brood that's hatching out, so I wonder if that was from the previous queen. But yeah, nonetheless, I'm gonna go through these 10 frames and see what I can find out. All right, frame number 4 had a ton of queen cells on the bottom, but this is frame number 5, and that looks like a hatched queen cell. I have not found any signs that they have a mated queen just yet. So maybe she just hatched, is in the process of mating. So TBD, a few frames to go still. But yeah, we'll see. Let's see what turns up. And again, if I don't find anything this week, as I say, just give it a week. You may be surprised. So a few more frames to go and have an answer here shortly. All right, yeah, I'm pretty sure they do not have a mated queen. They might have a queen, given the amount of queen cells they have and the amount of queen cells that look like they've hatched at some point. So I'm just gonna give them another week, keep an eye on them and check back. And hopefully things look a little different next week, meaning at least I'm hoping to see signs of brood next week, eggs and larvae. So we'll just have to be patient and check then. All right, given that it's been 2 weeks that this colony has looked as packed as they are, I'm actually going to give them some extra space in the form of a shallow. I'm just going to add it right on top. But yeah, shallow with 9 frames. I have a frame spacer I need to grab real quick. Actually, it's right here. Very nice tool. I'm just hoping this gives them a little bit of relief. Space also helps prevent swarming. So That's the whole idea here. I mean, if they end up drawing out the frames because they are new, that'd be fantastic, but yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, like always, thanks for watching, everybody. So I'm just gonna finish things up today with getting swarm number 5, I believe, move down onto the hive stand right in that position there, and then get into number 6, swarm number 6, that's still in a trap at the very beginning of the yard. And then tomorrow, drag the ladder over to the red trap at the very entrance of the bee yard and take a look at them for the first time. So like usual, thanks for watching, everybody. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you enjoy our channel, please subscribe. And like always, you're more than welcome to share our content with your friends and family. So that does it for me. Mid-April inspection. Things are looking good. Overall, pretty satisfied. All right, that's it for us. We'll see you next time.